Hello and welcome back to the show. This is a part two from a conversation we had a couple of weeks ago on peptides with Dr. Rob Bello, our peptide expert. We talked a lot about the science. We talked about what peptides are and the benefits, but we also, a lot of people had asking about, how are the results? What could some people expect? And we didn't have to go too far. There's tons of people sending in their testimonials. So we grabbed 7 of them today, and we'll be able to go through them together because they're all different. Right? They're different people having phenomenal results, and they're loving to share what's going on in their life and how their life's been better from taking these peptides. So, Rob, thanks for being here today and being able to walk us through this process.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My pleasure. Thank you, Dave. These are some of my favorite things, the testimonials. This is what I've driven a lot of the business from because people want to share. They're excited, with the peptides. I tell them all the time, you want to see a difference. And when they do, they're excited. They're like, holy, this is happening. And some of it is what we expected, and some of it's is other fringe benefits that we're going to shortly see, that I necessarily can't predict, because when these peptides start working, we've seen any and everything respond. So I love it. Whatever they tell me, I'm glad to hear.
Well, we're going to start with our first one. Hang with me while I share the screen. It's a couple of buttons away, but sometimes that could be a far distance. All right, got everything rolling. Let me know if you can see the screen.
I can. Yep, I see Kate.
And that's Kate. So we're going to hear Kate's, and Kate did a great job on this one. So she actually edited it herself. So let's just let this one roll.
A quick recap. First surgery, laminectomy. Second surgery, full back fusion with fake disc through the abdomen. Third surgery, torn meniscus. Pretty hardcore. And all I wanted to do was get back to the things that I love doing. Cooking, painting. I'm not a bodybuilder. You can see that in these videos. And most times, people take peptides and think, oof, bodybuilders. Nope, that's not me. Yeah, do I like doing crazy, rigorous things like this in my yard? Of course, because I just like pushing the limit. And before the BPC 157 that Dr. Bello introduced me to, I was not able to recover from the inflammation in the scar tissue and just the rigorous things that I did to my body. And now I'm able to. Be able to take care of the snow when it snows. Be able to take care of the grass in the summertime. Be able to crochet and that continuous wear and tear on my traps. I'm able to love on the little babes in my life and live my best life because of BPC 157.
So what are you waiting for? Contact Dr. Bello today. Get your BPC 157 and start living the best life that you possibly can, just like he's done for me and so many others. Dr. Bello, BPC 157.
Okay, wow. Now that was...
Yeah, you gotta love Kate.
She did that. I mean, it looked like a commercial itself.
Yeah.
But just talk a little bit about Kate, a special patient of yours, and what she...
Yeah, she's been a patient for a while. She first came to me and she was struggling. She's had a long health history, and she really started getting her life back just with the chiropractic care, which we know was instrumental. And when she started the peptides, it just took her to the next level. And she's working around. She's just nonstop, and you can see the type of energy that she has, and obviously the excitement that she has. So that's why we do this. That's the fuel that really pushes us forward to keep on spreading the word, telling everybody about it, whether they want to listen or not. If I can get one Kate out of 100 people I talk to, very much worth it.
Well, she's coming in, obviously loyal chiropractic patient because she's getting results from chiropractic, but it's, there's just so much, right? You move, you're getting better motion.
Sure.
And then when you start to take this product, it kind of like this blanket effect where
Yep.
now not only are you getting your great effects from chiropractic, but now you're not getting as much inflammation and pain, and you're not as dependent on that adjustment.
And this is exactly what I tell chiropractors. I mean, I have chiropractors that are almost almost afraid to bring it in their practice. They feel like they're going to lose patients because they're getting people too well. And as a chiropractor, we know we can bring so much back to people's lives, but there's a limitation. When you have an old ligament injury or tendon injury that just isn't going to respond, I just let them know this is just added value to what we do. And it's a huge added value. And you know what? You may lose that one patient from coming in once a week or once every other week, but you know what? They're going to refer you 10 patients. And some people are going to come in just for the peptides. So I can't tell you how many new patients that I get that say, you know what? I want the peptides, but might as well do some chiropractic care in the meanwhile. So it's such a win-win-win. I can't emphasize that enough.
Well, we're moving on to our next. I'm going to share the screen again, so hang with me.
Here we have Jess Falborn, master trainer, IFBB pro, and very, very loyal chiropractic patient and lover of peptides.
Here we go.
Enough good things about BPC 157 and TB4 Frag from Revita Thrive. I started using BPC 157 at the beginning of my 2024 contest prep, and I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to actually start my prep because I was experiencing a lot of shoulder issues. And as soon as I introduced these peptides, I saw massive improvement in my strength, in how my lifts felt, how my connective tissue was recovering really well, and also in my gut health. So we ran BPC 157 throughout my entire contest prep, and it was so helpful in keeping me healthy, keeping me in my lifts, again, keeping my gut health top notch. And now we've actually added in TB4 Frag and doing that Wolverine stack. And so it's keeping me, again, really healthy, keeping me recovered, and it's improved my sleep, my digestion, my gut health, all of the above. So can't say enough good things about both of these peptides and how helpful they are for athletes of all different sports.
All right, we'll stop it right there. And great. Let's talk about that one.
Yeah, Jess is another great one. She's a trainer at a local gym, Signature Fitness, and she's also a CrossFit coach there. She was referred to me because of shoulder issues. She was getting ready for her debut as a pro bodybuilder, and she was doing really well. Her shoulders were, like she said, she was afraid that she wasn't going to be able to actually finish the prep because of the rigors of the intensity of the workouts as well as the dieting. And she started the peptide. Her shoulders were doing great. She started the peptides, and literally it became a non-factor. She had no shoulder issues I've seen it often with my pro bodybuilders when the diet starts to get pretty serious towards the end. They're drying themselves out. Their joints are not as cushioned by fluids, and that's when injuries happen. And she was very, very happy and very healthy during her whole prep. So another great testimonial.
Very cool. Very interesting. As we start to go through these, you'll hear different types of testimonials. It's almost like exactly what they were looking for. And then there's always and then on top of that, this happened, that I didn't expect to happen. So it's a pretty interesting process.
And it was a great contrast between Kate and Jess. Kate went out of her way to say, I'm not a bodybuilder. And Jess said, I am a bodybuilder. In the bodybuilding community, these compounds are well known, but they're definitely not looked at as legitimate because everybody thinks these injectables are better. And you'll see time and time again, these orals take people to the next level.
And we're going to find that, I believe, in a couple of testimonials that there's someone who was super surprised to find that out as well. So, so let's keep on. Where's our first male testimony? So our first guy. So let's share our screen again. And here we go.
And here is Rob.
Right.
Hey, Doc. Here's my quick testimony on BPC 157. Probably the most amazing thing I've put in my body in the last 48 years to help me heal Um, the results of this have absolutely changed my life as far as sleeping better, body's relaxed. I've had probably 10 plus traumas in my body, including neck fusion, snap muscle, snap tendons, and the game has changed. It has resettled my stomach down, which is very odd for a peptide. It actually softened my muscles, softened my knees. I think I even have better vision. Overall, this product is truly a miracle, because when I first picked up this bottle, I didn't know why I was getting it because there was nothing broken. That day, I ripped my pec a little bit doing a pull-up, and I couldn't even do a plank that day. The pain was so intense. 7 days later, 2 pills a day, I was able to do 50 burpees with minimal pain. So this drug is just overall, this peptide, not drug, is just absolutely mind-blowing. Anyone that needs it, jump on it. It's for everything, man. Your GI, your stomach, your intestines, my eyes even feel like I have better vision. My joints, everything's just really changed. So if Doc told me it was $10,000 a bottle, I would figure out a way to buy it. So guys, there's my testimony. If you want any more questions and details, reach out to Doc, and I can send them over to you. But BPC for life.
Hi.
There's that. So I like that one because he's middle-aged guy like me, right?
Yep.
And I love the fact that he's obviously not a doctor, but he's just like, so that's such a pure testimonial
Oh
of
yeah.
like the things that happen, right? And for someone to say, and if you're young out there, yeah, you strain or you tear your pec, yeah, next week I feel better too. When you're in our age, no, that's a
Exactly.
that's a month of pain, and then a reminder every once in a while for the rest of your life, right? So
Sure.
the fact that he was able to do burpees and get back to the game at that age, and I could certainly attest to that. So tell me a little bit about him, and
Yeah,
that's a great story.
yeah, Rob's another great testimonial. Obviously, you can see very passionate about it. He's one of those guys that, felt the difference after a couple of pills. And usually I can, what I've seen in the past is that people that have a lot of inflammation, they respond real quick. And for someone to have all those different types of injuries, probably was driven a lot by inflammation. So he's an IT professional. He's a great dad. His son's a killer athlete, and he's a real avid hobby exerciser, doing all sorts of different. So just like the rest of us in this age bracket that have been athletic their whole lives and aren't recovering like they used to. The injuries are starting to happen more often. I mean, it's when this demographic experiences that type of relief and that type of change, it's so impactful. And those are the guys that just like every month, I want my pills, and let's just keep on going. So, being in that age range and demographic and going through those same things, it's really, close to home for me, because it's, I mean, me, myself, my shoulder for the last year, my shoulders have been great. I've torn labrum in both shoulders, torn rotator cuffs, always flaring up between work, between gym, between kids and sleep, never get a rest. And they haven't flared up. They really haven't. There's my testimonial.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because I'm listening to you talk, I'm listening to him talk, and the reality is, why is it so valuable to us? Because we've already lived part of our life with degeneration and decline, inflammation and pain, and it's not getting easier, right? So that's what happens as you age, and then you and I have heard they've tried to sell us everything and anything under the sun
Oh
for our
gosh,
whole
I
career,
know.
and now something that works.
Yes.
It's so amazing that it works. Something actually works, Rob. Like
Yeah.
not in theory,
I
it's
mean,
happening.
that is why, I've, one of the major reasons I've been so emphatic about it, because I tell people, listen, I sell supplements, I take supplements, I love my glutathione, my turmeric. I know I function better. I know my immune system is better, but do I feel a difference, right? You feel a difference, right? You feel different. People are, the first thing I'll hear from people like, I don't know if it's my head, but I think it's working. I feel just better. I feel better. Like when and whenever I put in, one of the benefits is like just general overall wellness, feeling it being better. It sounds kind of hokey, but that's like really the way to describe it. They just like everything just kind of feels like it's humming again, like 10 years ago, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when you're used to living in pain, you're used to things slowing down. All of a sudden, you're waking up and the pain's going away and you're speeding up. You're starting to feel limited. Now you're feeling unlimited. It's like, what's going on
Yeah.
here? So it's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah,
That's why we're talking about it.
that's why we're here.
Let's move on to our next testimonial. Hold up. Share the screen. Make sure I press the right buttons or we we have a problem. Here, who do we have? Wait, who do we have here?
Here we have Luis.
6 months ago, I started to have unbelievable joint pain. It started in my wrists. Every day it seemed to have been getting worse. I had swelling in my hands, noticeable swelling, to the point that it almost looked like I had boxing gloves. My face started to swell. I had swelling around my eyes. I was not able to do anything. I couldn't dress myself. I pretty much couldn't drive a car any longer. I couldn't put my hands around anything. I couldn't get a grasp on anything. My life really took a hard turn. I didn't know what was wrong. I went to the doctor. They tested me for RA, which runs in my family. I was convinced that I had it. My doctor took blood. She walked out of the room and she goes, "It must be your time now." She even thought that I had it. That came back negative. All the tests that they took on me came back negative. They tested me for Lyme's disease. That came back negative. One of my girlfriends did a testimonial. She had told me about the product, but it was actually seeing her post a video about the product that made me call Dr. Bello. It's the best thing I ever did for myself. It's the best thing that you could ever do for yourself. It just does so many things I can't even explain to you. In addition to the joint pain, I just don't have any inflammation anyplace.
Okay. Wow. So let me ask you a question. Yeah. What was going on with her that she had her hands swollen up like boxing gloves? And was there ever a diagnosis on what was going on with her prior?
Yeah, I mean, so that's the thing with Louise. That was one of those that she wasn't a patient. Never met her before. She got a recommendation. A lot of my previous clients, I tell them, if you're going to recommend, have them contact me. I like to do almost like a telemedicine, get a history of them, kind of see what they're dealing with. I can help them out, tweak things a little bit. So I had no clue. And her friend then let me know that she was doing great. I had reached out to her. I think we actually had an issue with shipping once, and she reached out to me, and we actually spoke, and she told me about her results, and that's one that like chokes me up. I mean, that's one that that is, you can just see how it just completely changed. She was going down that rabbit hole that we've seen so many people go down with the medical diagnosis, and she obviously has a family history of autoimmune, and that was probably starting to stir up, and all the swelling. I mean, she didn't mention it there, but she had told me she lost 10 pounds in a month doing nothing, not changing anything. Right. So that can just show how much swelling was there, and how much it was.
I mean, the swelling when the water came out, she lost 10 pounds of water weight.
Pretty much, wow. Yeah. And wow. She actually just told me, she's like, she wanted to do another testimonial video because they just sold her house, and she basically single-handedly like wrapped the whole house up. And she's like, and she likes to send me texts here and there to remind me how major of a thing this has been in her life. So wow. That's one of those that just this is a great podcast. This is a great format to really share these things, because I have so many of those testimonials in my head, and I could just rattle them off to people, and I have to like slow myself down and just not overwhelm people. But I know that next person that I run into may be a Luis. So it's my job to share this with them.
This is why this is such a great video, because you can talk about it all you want, but it's really coming from people who are actually taking the products and watching their lives change, right? It's not just about it's not just about not having those symptoms. It's about what not having those symptoms allows somebody to do. It's
Oh,
basically live the
sure,
life
100%.
that they want to live, right?
Yeah.
And we, you know, and we've been in this game for so long in chiropractic, and it's such a wonderful thing to do to give people their lives back. This is
Oh yeah.
another tool in our arsenal that and look, you can take care of somebody at a distance, you know, in
Oh
a way,
yeah. I
and help somebody.
yeah, the chiropractor, like that's a great thing. Like I've never met them before, but it's such an impact on their lives. I mean, that's why we've gotten into chiropractic, and this is just expands our reach, and expands the population of people that we can actually help out. So, you know, we're on to something here.
All right, let's keep this rolling. I'm going to share. We're going to share our next testimonial right here. Who do we have here?
This is Big Will, the arm wrestler extraordinaire, operation manager for Signature Fitness, and all-around good guy.
All right, Big Will.
This is William Blazeski. I am a professional arm wrestler, retired strongman, and powerlifter. Now, I've been using BPC 157 and TB 500 or TB4 for many years in the injectable version. Obviously, not just a pain in the ass, but the results have varied depending on the source and, you know, its potency and, you know, all those factors. You know, after meeting Dr. Bello and using BioThrive's oral BPC and TB4, I can safely 100% say that the potency, the effectiveness, and how quickly I feel the results is better than anything I've ever used before. You know, very kind of scary when you think of where these things come from, and it really puts my mind at ease knowing that it's manufactured in the United States. But the results speak for themselves. You know, I am constantly injured in my elbows and in my shoulders from arm wrestling, and it gets me right back to the table every time. So hit up Dr. Bello and BioThrive, give BPC 157 and their TB4 in the oral version a try. It'll definitely help you out.
All right, that's Big Will. So
yeah, so Will's perfect because, like you said, he's used the injectable for years, and even when I started distributing the oral, he was still had that same mindset that so many people that I meet have, that the injectable is better for joints and ligaments, and the oral is only good for the digestive issues. And he is one of thousands of cases that proves that old dogma wrong. And that's that we absolutely love. You know, and the funny thing is that again happened so organically. Will literally grabbed me in the gym the other day, and he's like, "I've been meaning to talk to you. I finally switched over, tried your oral, and you're right." And I love it.
and he shot the video. That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So we're gonna move on here to our next testimonial. This is I love this, Vince. This is great. We should do this every once in a while. As I know you're getting a lot more and more people are sending you these testimonies. We might as well get it out to the world. Here we go with our next one. And who do we have here?
We have Tony. We all love Tony.
Hey, Tony, let's hit play.
An almost 60-year-old young yoga instructor, aerial yoga teacher, dancer. And I started taking the BPC 157 due to back pain. And that was working great, so fabulously. In fact, with unsuspecting benefits that I didn't even realize were possible. It repaired my leaky gut. It repaired my gums. And then I started getting very intrigued by peptides because I couldn't believe the results that I was experiencing. I felt stronger, recovered quicker. So I then learned of the TB4, so I added that to my regimen. And it is just kind of incrementally compounded the benefits that I've seen. I have nothing but good things to say about these products.
Wow, awesome. I can't believe how old she is. So or young she is. I don't know there. But so tell me
Yeah, Tony's great. We love Tony. Actually, Tony was the one who recommended Luis. So Tony is well known
Gotcha.
in the area for being a yoga instructor, being, just a real influencer of health and wellness. And yeah, I mean, again, she's one of those that just had such a strong reaction to the peptides, and she just tells everybody, right? She's just out there telling it. She was like, "We need to do a podcast." I said, "All right, sure, I'll do a podcast." She's like, "I don't know how to do a podcast, but we just need to do one. We need to figure it out, and and I want as many people to know about this as possible." And she just like single-handedly will grab people. She'll see somebody in a hair salon, overhear them having a conversation, and she interjects. So she's just got that energy, and yeah, she's been very, very active, very athletic her whole life. And again, she's just seen a complete rejuvenation and rebirth of her athletic abilities. And I mean, again, it speaks for itself.
We're certainly seeing a theme here of people, ordinary people having phenomenal results, and the immediate response is to share it with others. And that's what I like about this so much. And that's kind of how by the
Yeah.
way, just full disclosure, I haven't sold a bottle of peptides in my life. I just take them. I just needed to create a format for us to share this and get this out to people. So I want to help this get out to the world as well. So I guess the same thing happened to me, right? So that being said, let's move on to our last testimonial for this conversation. We all may recognize this guy. Started, I'm not a testimonial guy, but I had promised my chiropractor 11 months ago that I would do this testimonial if 11 months later I was still feeling great. So here's the story. I'm a chiropractor for 25 years, and in my practice, my main concern, or one of my main concerns, was dealing with people's aches and pains, especially my middle-aged athletes that want to get back in the gym and are dealing with slower recovery time and aches and pains and all that stiffness and range of motion. So my practice, I had actually sold my practice because of aches and pains and injuries. I had dislocated my shoulder. I needed surgery. I fractured my neck, and it just became too much. So 11 months ago, my chiropractor, Dr. Rob Bello, introduced me to Thrive BPC 157. And 11 days later, my hands felt better, my wrist felt better, my shoulder felt better, my neck felt better. And I said, holy cow, what is this stuff? And he asked me for a testimony. And I said, you know what? If I feel better in 11 months from now, then I'll do that testimonial. So here I am 11 months later. Hey guys, if you're dealing with aches and pains, inflammation, this stuff's like a miracle. Like I said, I'm not one to do testimonials, but if this is something that you can get your hands on, I absolutely recommend it. If there's a link around here or some sort of scan code, I'm sure there's something around this video somewhere to scan it, get your hands on this, take that 11-day challenge like I did, and see if in 11 days your aches and pains start to feel better, or at least at the end of your first bottle. So, hey, Dr. Dave Moore, hey, I appreciate you listening to this video, and I look forward to hearing from your results from taking Thrive BPC 157. Have a great day. So yeah, right. So there you go. So here we are.
Well, this is one patient I don't have to do the breakdown and explain. Take the mic, Dave.
And that's been my experience, right? So, and I think after and the more we're having these conversations and learning more about it and hearing testimonials from other people, the more you want to just share it with others. If you have empathy and compassion for people who are dealing with aches and pains. I mean, I could identify to the middle-aged athlete, people who have, we had a certain results in the past, and as we've gotten older, they've slowed down, and we've kind of had to kind of accept them. It's kind of a bummer, right? And then all of a sudden something comes along that gives us a little bit of our youth back. It's just exciting because it's not just that the pain goes away, but you have hope, right? You're looking forward to playing with your kids. You're looking forward to playing pickleball. I've been playing pickleball like a madman, and I'm like, I should be much more sore than running because I definitely dive and jump for way too many shots I should. But it's only because I'm doing this. So, that's why I'm here having this conversation with you, because I felt an obligation as a chiropractor and as a human being to help share this with other people out in the world.
Yeah, and again, so grateful for you, Dave, because at this point I have so much on my plate. So for you to take charge and facilitate this, and obviously something that you've done before at a very high level, is amazing. And that has been my experience, is that when people are having these benefits, they want to give back, right? And those are the type of people that we've fortunately been able to surround ourselves with, that that are super grateful, and just know that if they can share this with one person and they could get the results that they do, it's worth it, because we have, I mean, especially as a chiropractor, I hear every day all of the bouncing back, this doctor, that doctor, this doctor. I mean, I told you about today how a young a lacrosse player came in and had a wrist pain, chronic wrist pain. He went to a doctor, and the first thing he says, "I think you have some bone disease." And I adjusted his wrist, and it was so these are
I just want to stop here because why that is so funny. He was a college lacrosse player that does this all the time at a high level, right? He comes in with a wrist problem, and the doctor said, "You might have a bone disease." Like, what?
It was unbelievable. And and so if we can help people sort through and offer solutions that will save them so much time and money and frustration with the current state of the medical system, I mean, this is, as a chiropractor, that's certainly part of my mission. And this now has added just another tool and another level to be able to address that and really help people, because the state of the food and the medical system is very scary right now. And luckily we've been in it, and I've been able to help sort of put people in the right directions. And this has been a great direction to point people into.
Well, I appreciate your passion, purpose for getting this out to people. It's exciting to be walking alongside you, just watching the results that your patients are getting, and now the chiropractors and the other trainers and the people that are starting to spread the word and get this out to people are just feeding you back so many testimonies. It's exciting. We've only gotten positive feedback, right? So we're just going to keep moving forward. But I appreciate your passion and your desire to get this out. It's admirable for sure. And I love being able to help you get this out as far as the message is concerned to as many people as possible.
All right, my friend. Well, thank you again. And let's keep it coming. Like I said, I do not have a lack of testimonials or a lack of people that are willing to share their stories. So
I believe at least we'll be doing a series every once in a while. We'll have to do something with these testimonials that will come back and do part 2, part 3, part 4, because it's a great way to get the message out. So
100%.
Appreciate you so much. And hey, man, have a great day.
All right, my friend, you too.